I am Neil Arthos. I am the next Abdullah, and we're going to make you the next Neville Goddard. Okay, but look, in all seriousness, guys, your SP worships at your feet, okay? Those are the types of affirmations that you need to be telling yourself every single day, okay? Your SP, your specific person, is not God. You are. So you need to start acting like it, okay? So you're tired of not getting the results in your dating life that you want. You feel like shit throughout the day. You're like, your friends could be inviting you to the party. You can be, or maybe you heard, then you're like, I don't even have friends. What are you talking about, Neil? You could be having, good results in your career, but just because Susie at the gym doesn't look your way, or because your ex still has you blocked and she won't talk to you, just because of that, all of a sudden you feel like a complete loser. Well, let me tell you one thing. Your feelings are simply sensations in your body, but you are not the body. As a matter of fact, you are not even the voice in your head that is telling you all these negative things about Susie at the gym. You are simply the observer of the mind and the body. Now, you think that you are a character that goes to your 9 to 5 every single day, right? The one that sees Susie at the gym, or who is still hung up on his ex. The same guy who likes to eat grilled cheese sandwiches, and every winter he goes to see his family up in Arkansas, right? You think that you are that character that you've been playing all throughout the 25 to 30 years of your life, right? But if I just told you that you are not the mind, you are not the body, you are just the observer of the mind and the body, well, that same character is a human that you perceive in the mirror every single day when you're brushing your teeth. So if you're not that character, yet you were able to, with strong conviction, believe that you were him or her all those 30 years of your life, then gosh darn it, why not believe that you are somebody else? Why not believe for the remaining 30, 60, 80 years of your life that you are a different character? But this time you are one in your imagination. Why not go in your imagination and ask yourself, what would the version of myself be like if I looked the same, made the same money, had the same internal and external flaws, but the only difference is I had SP? Or if you want, how would the person who looks like me and, has the same body weight, body percentage fat, but has the SP and has the money, what would that character feel? What would that character think? You see, this is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, is that if you're not the mind and you're not the body, but you thought for the whole entire career of your life that you were the mind and the body, then why not choose a different quote unquote mind and body to believe in, if in reality it's all fucking false, right? This is how, my friends, the game of life works, okay? You choose. You have just been choosing wrong. So go in your imagination and ask yourself, what would I be thinking right now if I look the same. Maybe if you don't go to the gym, that might be a big insecurity of you. But don't worry about looks maxing and changing anything in the physical. Just change everything right up here. What would I be thinking? What would I be feeling if I had SP? If I had the hot girl at the gym who, instead of me, I know I just said that if you don't go to the gym, so okay. Barbara, the secretary at the front desk. You know, at the fucking, I don't know, at the bank. I don't know. Okay? What would you be feeling and thinking if you had your SP? Right? But if you just looked the same and everything else was the same. I guarantee you, you would not be down on yourself all throughout the day thinking about which technique to use, thinking about why are my notifications drier than the fucking Sahara Desert. No. And that's the thing. If I just told you that you are not the mind and you are not the body, and instead choose a different character, then when you look at your phone and you see that it's drier than the fucking Sahara Desert, go in your imagination and see that your SP cannot stop fucking texting you, right? I remember when I was going through what you're going through right now. And I remember telling myself, you know, fuck, I remember days where I would be off from work. And I would have just loved to have a hot woman next to me and keep me company. And now that I've been doing all these techniques and getting more firm into the law of assumption, dude, it's to the point where I borderline am starting to get mad whenever they want to see me. It's getting to the point where I feel like I can't get a fucking break, where I don't have any personal space. And it's to the point where I feel like I have to respond right away to these girls. Sorry, fellas, I had to get my Starbucks here, but it's gotten to the point where, look, with my manifestations, I'm just gonna be honest with you, whether it's specific people or whether it's money. And I don't know what it is about money, but I mean, I'm not a millionaire, but I also have a really great job, and even with my great job, I still get money thrown into my lap practically out of fucking thin air. Okay, and I know you're probably saying, oh, this guy's bullshitting. People just say that, but I'll make that into a separate video. But whenever, I don't know what it is, but I've never been one of those guys who just thinks about being, you know, a jackpot millionaire all the fucking time, you know, a lottery ticket winner. I don't know what it is about money, but it's just kind of like water to me. I don't know. And the weird thing is too, like I've had issues growing up with my, you know, middle class family that I grew up in, and I could have been one of those people who gave into the whole childhood trauma, fucking, you know, money is hard to get by thing. But I don't know if it's because I started working right out of high school or whatever, but when I detached from money, I would just see money left and right. Even when I only had $5 in my bank account, I always had either someone who would offer to pay lunch or a family member would come in clutch. But it's like that fucking scene in the basketball movies where just when you thought that all hope was lost, the fucking guy from the bench comes in there and banks the three-pointer. You know, that's how it's been with me with money. You know, whenever I need it, it's there. And even says it in the Bible that if he feeds the birds, what makes you think that, you know, God won't come in clutch for you, right? But with SPs, man, I remember I had this fucking sex drought that I was going through where I was like, you know what, fuck this. I mean, what gives? I would have moments where I would be practically an infinity gauntlet of SPs to not even getting a single fucking text from a girl in like a whole month, right? And it borderline made me think, okay, what was it that, you know, did I gain weight? Is it because people started spreading rumors? And just because I said maybe someone spread rumors, I actually got that manifested in my reality. And there was someone who I had a little fling with and started spreading rumors. And that actually did become an issue for me, right? And they were all fucking lies, right? But you got to throw hezzies on the jezzies, bro. I'm just saying. But either ways, it got to the point where I was like, fuck, dude, I need to start fucking manifesting again. And not even like saying it like that, because it sounds very gimmicky, but you know, fuck you guys, all right? But I told myself I have to start manifesting, and I went back to what I started saying in all my other videos, which is what I call self-pedestalization. And what it is, it's simple. You put yourself on the pedestal and take SP right the hell off, okay? You tell yourself, I started telling myself things like, my SP has a life-size poster of me on their wall and they pray and bow down to it every single day. I started saying shit like, my SPs are flowers in my garden, but I'm the fucking sun. I only said stuff like that maybe like, what, 3 to 4 times. And after that, I forgot about it. And within a week, I started seeing the quickest shift that I've ever seen after any SAT session, after any week's worth of affirmations. I have never seen a quicker shift than when I started fucking talking narcissistically, obnoxiously about myself. What I started seeing is, first of all, in my job, I started having customers, because I work as a manager at a restaurant. And I had a customer who always came in with a bad mood, always. And he was going there for years. I think it was he, or maybe it was a she, I don't know, because I deal with a lot of customers. But I know it was like an older human. And they would always come in with a bad mood. And I wasn't doing anything special. I wasn't doing anything different than I typically do. I was just making orders, right? Well, one day we were in a rush. And the customer catches me off guard and they're like, hey, come here. And I'm like, oh shit, what the hell did I do? And then I go over there and they tell me, you know what, young man? I just have to say that you were doing a really good job. And I was like, well, no fucking duh. It's about time, you bastard. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. But it was honestly a fucking shock, because this person never gave me a compliment, let alone had a fucking smile on their face for years. And I'm talking, we have customers who go there every single damn day. But they went out of their way to get my attention and to basically wet my whistle with that flattery. And then if that wasn't enough, we started getting new workers, and one of them started making eye contact with me. Every single time I would look at her, she would smile. And I know you're probably saying, well, that doesn't mean if they smile, I mean, they could just be friendly. Dude, every single time that I would look away, I would look at her, she would smile. And then I would look away, and then 5 minutes later, she would smile again. Kind of like if she knew every single time we made eye contact, she had to make sure that she was happy, just so that way I could see that she was happy looking at me. And sure enough, one thing led to another, and you can call HR if you want. One thing led to another, and yeah, dude, let's just say there's no more fucking sex drive, fellas. But either ways, not only was it this new worker, there was also somebody from my past who we had kind of an on and off thing. And yes, guys, I already know I'm the manifestation player here, but hey, I'm Thanos in this game, fellas, okay? But there was a person from my past who I wanted to hook up with, and it's very interesting how when you start gaining success, people come out of the woodworks, right? And now it's to the point where this person, and I'm talking about the second person now, this person keeps blowing up my phone even when I'm telling them that I don't want anything with them anymore. And then I start going to different social events, different parties, meetups with friends. I even go to different jobs because one of my roles as a manager of the restaurant is sometimes you got to help out at other locations. And everywhere I go, man, there's like this feeling of all eyes are on me. Okay? And there's no looks maxing required. There's no posturing needed. It's just simply that I said, and I don't even like to call them affirmations, but I put myself on the pedestal for just a few days, and it had such a fucking electro supercharge in my subconscious that it had to be reflected. It's like my fucking subconscious got a boner, and it still hasn't been released yet. After it got so fucking turned on when I said that all my SPs are satellites, but I'm fucking gravity, that it couldn't resist. It just had to give me the shit. Because, like I said, man, I went months without getting messages from girls, okay? And again, it was actually kind of weird because a guy like me who's always had success with women, it was to the point where I almost thought, did I manifest the opposite? Did I manifest in reverse here? Because it almost seemed like if there was a curse where it was like, I mean, yeah, I get it. Sometimes we have, shooters shoot, and sometimes we have bad days at the office. But I mean, a whole fucking 3 months, 6 months, like what the fuck, I thought there was some sort of Me 3 movement going on or some shit. But no, it was no scandal. It was no controversy. Whatever it was, there was something in my self-concept. But when I went into my self-concept and I dug my balls out of there and I put my balls on the pedestal, then everybody started worshiping my balls. And they did other things with them too. But either ways, guys, before I get demonetized, the point is, okay, I don't even know how I fucking started this video. But when you want to manifest an SP, choose the character, first of all, in your imagination that has the SP, okay? Because if you were choosing the character that you think you are, that you see in the mirror every single day when you brush your teeth with your eyes, but yet if I'm telling you that you are not the eyes, you're not the body, you're just whatever you observe, you are the observer, of whatever you observe. I know that sounds confusing, but basically you are nothingness. You are just the watcher, okay? But what I'm saying is, if you can play along for 30 years, why not play along for the rest of your life, but as a different character? And where do you do that? You do it in your imagination. And the best part is, in your imagination, it's instant. Over here in the 3D, you have to wait 20 years sometimes for results. Here in the 3D, you have to wait to do exams to get your driver's exam, to get your driver's license. You have to wait 18 years to graduate from high school. But even if you're in kindergarten, you can look into your imagination and you can imagine you got your diploma right now. And guess what? If whatever you observe is not real, then you can go in your imagination and believe that it's real either ways. I know this is a lot to take in, but I try to cram all the fundamentals in here, because I know a lot of people watching manifestation videos, whenever the coach is like, I'm going to tell you how to manifest your SP. Just think it and you will have it. Just live in the end, and boom. And then all the comments are like, fucking amazing. This really made it click. Oh my gosh, what a masterpiece. And you're like, this motherfucker didn't even say shit. What are you talking about? So that's why I like to cram this shit. And maybe it's a little too crammed, like, you know, fit in your whole family tree in the Civic. But, you know, I'm trying my best here, guys. But I get excited about this shit because I love seeing people manifest the reality of their dreams. But imagine yourself as that character. And the best part is you don't have to act like anybody else, because I'm telling you to just imagine the version of you who looks the same, who wears the same smelly underwear, but the only difference is that they have SP. How would you feel? What would you be thinking? And literally, when you put those things in your imagination, you don't have to try to be a different person. You will automatically start getting the thoughts and getting the emotions of that person. If you keep going back to your imagination and asking yourself, what would I be doing right now if I had SP? No, I'm not telling you to talk to the wall and pretend that she's there and have sex with the air. No. What I'm saying is, the more you repeat this in your imagination, the more you are going to get into a flow state where the thoughts and emotions become natural, and therefore those thoughts and emotions that all of a sudden start popping up subconsciously will automatically start manifesting signs and results that tell you that you already have your SP, and therefore you will eventually get SP. Now, what I told you about the self-pedestalization is, I'm not going to say it's required, but if you want to shift where, if you struggle with imaginal acts and if you struggle with repetitive affirmations, the best affirmations are the ones that you only have to do a few times. I only did this 3 times, 4 times, and I got bored, I got lazy, and I forgot about them. But I didn't expect that the damn sex drought was going to be coming to this fucking borderline, I need to get a restraining order fest. Okay? Holy shit. I mean, to this day, I'm dealing with the consequences of all that. I mean, think about it. How many people have you heard say stuff like, my SP has a life-size poster on my wall, on their wall, and they pray and bow down to it every single night? How many people have you heard say stuff like that? But you see, when you do that, the reason why this is so powerful is because, first of all, little do you know, whenever you say things like that, even though it's not an IMAX or 3D Blu-ray, you get a visual. You get an imaginal act, even if it's fuzzy. And your subconscious sees that. And because that is such an outrageous affirmation, it gives you such a feeling of, whoa, what the fuck? But little do you know that, whoa, what the fuck feeling is actually a sensation, and it makes an impression on the subconscious. And therefore, anything that you impress your subconscious with has to reflect. So that's why, even though I was talking about SP, I was getting customers complimenting me. And even though that doesn't have to do with SP, my subconscious was so, there was such a spark in the atmosphere. There was such a charge in the fucking ultrasound of my subconscious that they're like, okay, you know, there had to be some sort of a chemical reaction that happened in the imbalance of my 3D. And therefore, it combusted into compliments from customers that are always in a fucking bad mood. You know, my boss all of a sudden, you know, just giving me better vibes whenever she's typically in a bad mood herself. And just all around praise and Just people making me feel appreciated. And SPs really making me feel appreciated. But again, before I get demonetized, guys, put yourself on the pedestal. Ask yourself, what would the version of you be like? Feel and think who looks exactly the same but has SP. And again, you don't want to do it as a robotic, I'm acting as an actor thing. I mean, I know I have said that acting as if is kind of like being an actor, but I kind of have switched a little bit, because I think when you tell people that, they actually think you have to be in a movie throughout the whole entire day. No, you want everything to happen natural. You don't want it to actually feel forced. Whatever comes out naturally after you ask yourself, what would the version of me be like if I had SP? That is how you kind of want to live your life. You don't even have to try. It will be like a fucking fart that comes out of your actions. You won't even be thinking about it. So ask yourself that, and fill yourself with the self-pedestalization affirmations. You don't actually have to say the exact ones that I do. If you want to, you can. But basically, make your own version of that. Something crazy, obnoxious, and twisted like that. And do it until you actually feel like that what the fuck did I just say feeling, or until you feel something, and I guarantee you're going to see results. Okay, let me know what you guys think. Give me some feedback. I still want to know how to do these videos, if I'm doing them in a way that are concise and cohesive. So let me know if you guys think I should do it in a different way, if I should get a fucking mic. I personally like just filming in my car and making it easier like that, less editing. But either ways, guys, let me know what you guys think. I am Neil Larthos. This is all that the I'm Awareness had to say, and I know you're going to be okay.